Guys, I'm so tired. So by the time I post this, it'll be week 3.5-ish of doing the 185 Insane Challenge. And you guys deserve an update, because that's how I'm keeping myself accountable. Also, I hope you like the thumbnail, because it came to me while I was sitting and working at Scooters, and I was like, I'm gonna learn how to edit a thumbnail on Canva. And even though it's just a silly little picture of me, but I think it's funny, so I hope you do too. And I'm also standing for this video because I'm a person that moves around a lot. So now I've given myself a little spot, because my computer's right here, the bed's right here. Also, this is gonna be the last vlog that is made in this area, because, and this is part of the update, I'm moving into my apartment an entire week and a half earlier than I expected to. Me and my roommate talked, and she was like, hey, my roommate and I talked, and she was like, hey, I'm gonna be out of town during the first week of July, and I want to, we both want to be in the space during my first couple days back so that we can, figure out a rhythm and stuff like that, where we want things to go and how we want rules and all that stuff. So I'm moving in on June 22nd instead of anywhere remotely close to July 1st. So I'm gonna put my hand out and we're gonna see if I could put a picture of all of the boxes that I've packed above my hand, because that'll be a fun little thing. Because again, all of this is in the name of learning. I am teaching myself how to video edit and fun things like that. So again, that's why I was like, I hope you like the thumbnail, because that was me learning. I was like, okay, can I take and try and teach myself how to make a thumbnail on Canva? And I think I did. It looks better than me just sitting and taking 30 minutes on my bed to position myself with this little notepad and writing the phrase "locking in" on it. But also, it's full of whimsy. You can't say that I'm not a person full of whimsy. So concerning the rest of the challenge, it's coming along slowly. Some aspects of it are going better than others. During Christmas break, I worked out a lot because I wanted to get in shape for auditions for my last musical for college. So I did that, which was great. But now, once I got back into college, I was like, I don't have time to barely eat. So working out was kind of left on the back burner. I mean, also I was in the musical, so that also was a lot of working out. So, yeah. So I'm having to reinstate in myself the mentality of, working out. So instead of, 30 minutes, in a row, it's, a bunch of 5-minute bursts throughout the day. But some of it is better than nothing. I've been drinking a lot more water. That's been a really big one. I've also been more conscientious about what I've been eating. Does that mean I've been eating healthier? No, but I've been more aware. But I've been more aware of the food I've been eating and being like, we should decrease our sugar intake. I produced a show that I wrote. It was a kids camp. It's not the 185 challenge rule that I want is producing one of my full-length plays. However, I did get one of plays that I wrote as a 20-minute long, 30-minute long. This one's a 30-minute long one. Kids camp script. So I wrote a pirate comedy. It's really fun. You can watch the recording on this very YouTube channel. I think it went really good. The kids enjoyed it. I can write funny stuff, guys. That was something that was made very clear to me. The Girl on the Shore, that's the name of the show. I should probably say that. But that was my first time actually setting out to write a comedy. So I think it went really well. It was very well received. The audience enjoyed it. And I had lots of fun with it. So, yeah. Also, one good thing that has happened, because a lot of overall, I would say that the last 3 weeks, the like goals of the 185 Insane Challenge for me have been like slow going. One thing that has improved is I have raised my word count minimum for the day from 250 words to 300 words per day, because I was as I anticipated, I was clearing 250 words like nobody's business. And even on days when I couldn't write a whole lot, I was still hitting over 300. So then I was like, okay, so now we're going to raise it to 300. And then once we get more in a rhythm with that routine and hitting that word count, then we'll raise it to 400 and get up to like 1,000. That's like the dream end goal, but I will take whatever I can get because I have 10,000 words. I hit for the first book I want to write. For the first draft of the first book I want to write, I just hit 10,000 words in it yesterday, and I was shocked. I was like, I've been working on this sucker for less than a month, and I already have 10,000 words. That's pretty good. I like that. And also, I have a secret project. I cannot tell you anything about it right now, but I can say it's pretty cool. Within the coming months, I'll be able to talk about it. Definitely by the end of the summer, if not before, I will be able to talk about it. But right now, some really cool things are being cooked up, and I'm super excited about it. And something else that is happening is I've been submitting my 2 full-length plays that I've written, A Collapsing Atlas and Finding Godot. I've been submitting those to playwriting competitions and submitting them to theater companies around the country. For them to consider them for their main stage season. So I think I've submitted A Collapsing Atlas to 2 and Finding Godot to 4. Finding Godot is, I'll talk more about it probably in another video later down the line, because I want this one to focus on the vlog. I'll yap about Finding Godot can get yapped about in its own video. But basically Finding Godot is what I consider my current magnum opus. It is a play in 1 act that I wrote for my honors thesis and then later produced as my senior show to fulfill my theater major at my college. And after I graduated, I edited it one more time, like a final draft, quote unquote, for at least the foreseeable future. And I am like, yeah, I believe that this play is the best that I can produce at the moment, so I'm going to ask people, hey, do you want to do anything with it? It's okay if not. I hope you just enjoy reading it, even if you don't want to include it in your season. That's literally how I've been ending my emails, when I'm like, hello, here's my play, Finding Godot. It's very interesting. I hope that even if you choose to move forward with someone else's play, I hope you at least enjoyed reading mine. Because that's the end goal. I hope that people are entertained, learn something, are inspired, even if it's just through reading the work. One other thing in terms of kind of going back to working out, I've been working more on flexibility and stretching a lot more so that I don't hurt myself, especially when I get to move all these boxes. I really, really hope that I can put a picture of all those boxes right here in my hand, or else this video is going to be stupidly awkward. Overall, what I've learned these last 3 weeks of trying to not necessarily brute force myself into doing the challenge, but like forcing myself to stay consistent and hold myself accountable, is doing it tired is better than not doing it at all. There were days when I would be like, I don't want to write, I don't want to work out, I don't want to drink water, but I was like, I need to lock in. I basically told myself, I was like, we gotta lock in, because I work very well when I establish routines, because that builds momentum, but I can't start building momentum unless I have discipline, and that discipline in and of itself means you are either doing something you don't want to do, or you are not letting yourself do something you do want to do, because you know that it is for your betterment. That is not the dictionary definition. That is just how I understand it as a person. Don't come after me. Also, like things where I am consistently was hitting the 250 word per day rule, so then I bumped it up. I got satisfaction for like an entire 2-week period of hitting that 250 words per day goal. And I was like, yes. So then once I had a rhythm with that, I pushed the bar up more so that I can keep growing, because that is ultimately what I want to do with this challenge. I want to keep pushing myself to succeed and basically not plateau. That is my greatest fear, one of my greatest fears in life. The other is man-made heights. No, I will not elaborate. But yeah, this video is definitely probably going to be a lot shorter. This is kind of like a check-in. I don't have to go over all the rules. I'm basically talking about the ones that are like the most interesting updates to talk about. And the next video will most likely be a even shorter video talking about me moving into my very own big girl apartment. That's so crazy. Guys, I am like moving out of my parents' place 2 months after I graduate. I am very privileged. I understand that privilege. I'm very lucky, very fortunate. But I'm like getting my own place. I have no idea if all my stuff is going to fit, because basically what I'm doing is I'm taking everything that I've ever owned, including all of like my childhood toys and all of that stuff that has been scattered around the house. I am taking it all with me to see if I can hold on to it. And if I can't, then that's where the downsizing goal for the insane challenge comes into play, where I take and like really minimize my stuff and start paying attention to what really matters. So yeah. Also, if you are on Instagram, I made a writing Instagram, HEDunkel/storytelling, where basically I'm posting little behind the scenes and poems that I'm writing for the book of poetry that I hope to get at least done and probably published by the end of this challenge. The working title for it is Poems to Read in the Dark. I think. I'm pretty sure that's what I said. If I didn't, I'll correct myself. But yeah. I've posted a couple poems up there to show little snippets of my work, and yeah, so the ball's rolling. We're doing stuff. We're locking in, and I've enjoyed standing and yapping at you a lot more than sitting on my bed, and I forgot how fun I look wearing a backwards baseball cap. I fear that is part of my iconic look. All right. Thanks. Bye.